Hey, what's going on? It's Tafty from Tafty's Home for BYO Guitars. So, in our last episode, I talked about how I had Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, and a couple different designs I was trying to choose from. And in typical guitar building fashion, I'm not going to do any of those. It'll be fine. Alright, so I got some bad news this week. I'm not getting a neck. At least not any kind of a kit neck. So, this is what I'm going to do. I have this beautiful piece of maple. I'm sure you can't see it from there. It's got some decent figuring. It's super straight. It's ready to go. And I think what I'm going to do, since it's perfectly ready, I'm going to cut it in half. Because why not? Then I'm going to laminate it with these other woods that I have and make something kind of cool out of it. So that's my plan of attack. I'm going to have to make one from scratch, so let's get going. So one of the things that cutting this apart in laminates does for me is I'm going to be able to take the figuring, which was kind of at a slant the whole way, and flip one of the boards over, and now I've got kind of a chevron thing going on. It's going to be pretty cool. All right, so I got it all together. Added a couple more clamps. I'm not going to bore you with those details. I'm going to leave this overnight to dry, and then tomorrow come back and probably rough in the shape. Moving right along. See you in the morning. yeah, day 2. Good news. I got a package in the mail today. I'm expecting that this is my body blank from BYO in Amherst, New Hampshire. So let's take a look. With any luck, this thing's going to be awesome. Those guys got it to me super fast. I'm so happy. Whoa. Okay. I could have sworn I got a 2-piece body blank. This is clearly 1 piece. Hey, let me bring that over. Yeah? Yeah, I think so too. Nice. Wow. Thanks to those guys up at BYO, this is amazing. Yeah, they sell kits. They have a custom shop. They'll make anything you want. Look them up. All right. Well, that's good news. All right, last night we put this together and we left it to cure. Let's take it apart and see what we got. Well, looks like we got ourselves a neck blank. I've got a tremendous amount of glue to clean up. That's not really that bad. But I will spare you that. Because, you know, it's fascinating watching glue get cleaned up. Now my thought here is to go ahead and true this up with my table saw. I think that'll be the quickest way. It's also one of the very few pieces in here that I super trust. If you notice, but I get a lot of benchtop type power tools, and they fall short. Well, where they fall short is the amount of actual material you can send through them. This is the one thing I can actually do that with. So there we go. Worked like a charm. All right, on to the planer. So now that I've got my blank done, kind of cool. I mean, it's a little chipped out on that, but I'm going to carve away most of it. It's super flat and clean where it counts. I'm going to use one of these little Stu-Mac gauges, and I'm going to use the measurements that are on it to profile the neck. What's important is that the laminate looks awesome. So now I've got to use the neck template and figure out exactly which part of this blank I want to use. I want the most amount of flame where the headstock's going to be. That looks like it's up here. It also makes this the back of the headstock, which is a pretty awesomely smooth spot, honestly. So yeah, let's get the center line marked out on this, figure out where I want my truss rod to be, and get it to the router. what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and router out the whole channel from the top side of the nut to where the truss rod ends. Then I believe what I'm going to do, well, first I have to increase the size of my bit because these StewMac truss rods are a little bit bigger on the end. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to route the bigger piece of the channel, and I think I'm going to carry it out into the headstock about an inch. I can do that. Yeah. So, let's do it. I just had a thought. I think I'm going to adjust my clamps to actually use them as a stop for the router. I've seen it done before. I can't say who, but I know I've seen it done before. So, I know what you're thinking. Even with dust extraction, he should be wearing a mask. And you're right. Problem is, I left mine at home. But if you'd like one of these cool Tafty's masks, let me know. So what I've done now is I've changed out to a 5/16 bit, which will fit the end of the StewMac truss rod, I'm hoping. That's what it measured out to. And I'm just going to do the very end where I marked. 1 inch beyond the end of the top of the nut. And that should do it. It's not 5/16. The other thing you probably figured out by now is I only have one camera. I promise you, I changed out the router bit again, and I did it in a fantastic fashion. You'll just have to take my word for it. All right, I think we got it. So I did have to go a little bit deeper because the truss rod is, well, I've never installed one of these before. These hot rod truss rods from StewMac. I usually use ones from LMI. They're a little different. You don't have to step the channel down in depth to use them. But I'm sure that that's probably the only difference. That's it. That is fantastic. So I guess what we'll do now is the all-powerful Ryobi bandsaw over there and trim this neck, rough it to shape so that we can get it on the router table. Well, I decided it would just be easier to go ahead and move the bandsaw to the build table rather than try to fight the wall back there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this as close to the line as I possibly can, make myself barely any work when I get to the router table. We're almost there, man. So instead of straight to the router table, I think my next move is going to be the spindle sander. I think I can get this even closer to the line. So I don't know what side of the coin you fall on as far as the masking tape and super glue trick versus double-sided tape. I started using the masking tape and super glue thing about a year ago, and when we all saw it on the internet. And I even have 3M, and it's decent, but it still leaves a mess. So I'm going to stick with this until somebody sends me a roll that they think won't. All right, let's get to it. Alright, that's going to be it for today's video. We got done everything that I wanted to get done. We got done everything that I wanted to get done. Got the neck pretty well roughly shaped. I haven't decided on a profile yet. I'm thinking like a modern C. As soon as the fretboard gets here, we can go ahead and put the truss rod in and attach the fretboard and start carving the back of the neck. Also, when the fingerboard gets here, I want to try to just decide on some kind of inlay for the 12th fret. I don't want to do the whole thing because it's a super figured piece of wood, and why mess it up with inlays. So I just want to do something simple on the 12th fret. I'll throw some side dots in it too so it's actually playable. And of course, I have to mention again, thank you to BYO Guitars for, they knew I was in a rush and obviously picked out the most amazing piece of swamp ash. It's just, and it's one piece where I thought it was going to be two. It's amazing. I can't wait to get this body done as soon as I figure out what body it is I'm going to make. Thinking something along the lines of definitely an offset, maybe Jazzmaster. But I don't want the tremolo stuff, so I got to think of what to do with the bridge and the tailpiece. Thank you so much for joining me today. This was a lot of fun and a lot of work, this whole video editing and shooting and moving and cutting and sanding and whatever else I have to do. But it'll be worth it. This is going to be a great build. It's going to be a lot of fun. And with any luck, we'll be able to play it before October 17th. Please like and subscribe. To the people who already have subscribed, you are awesome. And I wasn't kidding about the prize thing. I'm gonna, I think, pick like the first 5 subscribers, and I'm actually gonna send you something. So look for an email or a DM or something. I'll send you something. And I mean, I can't be more appreciative. In between these videos, you can catch me on Instagram at Tafty's Guitars. You can catch me on Facebook at Tafty's Guitars, and catch me on TikTok. I'm telling you, it's the wave of the future. And I'm posting a lot of repairs on there. I'm posting a lot of videos on there. I'm not dancing in any of them. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the 2020 Great Guitar Build-Off. Have a great week.